everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for finding the time to watch this video. I really appreciate. For those that are joining me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad to have you. If you are coming back for a second or third time, if this is not your first time, thank you for coming back to watch this video. I must say that I apologize for not having posted videos for over a year now. I remember it was last year at around this time when I did the last videos, and after that the Lord had just got me to go into seclusion, got me to go into isolation for the season that I was in. And I can tell you that, wow, it was quite a season. It was just remarkable what the Lord led me into and got me out of, real battles, but I will be happy to share the details with you as we go along. And now I am back and moving on with the work that the Lord has for me, and with a lot of more personal experience, much more than I ever dreamed of or imagined, just to equip me to do this work with that personal experience to share as well, and to validate what he has been speaking to me about and what he wants me to share with you all, so that we can all learn from each other and we can all learn from my experience. The reason why I do this and the reason why I share this is, one, so that the word of the Lord can be spread to the far corners of the earth, but also that we can learn from this experience, that we can all glean and learn something from these experiences. And so without further ado, I will get into today's word. For those that don't know me, I'm the African Girl Empowered, and I teach on different spiritual insights just to empower the body of Christ, so that through knowledge the just shall be delivered. Because Hosea chapter 4 verse 6 says, my people perish from the lack of knowledge. And so I certainly know that if I had the knowledge that I have now, who knows, probably my life would have looked very different from quite a long time ago. So for so many years, I went through a lot, not having the knowledge about what was really going on from a spiritual perspective, but also not knowing what to do about it. After finding out what was going on from a spiritual perspective, is there anything that could be done about it, and what could I do about it? And that is why I do what I do. And so thank you so much for tuning in today, and let's get to today's word. And today's word is just still on the topic of the exchange of destiny. That is what I focus on, because that is what I have personal experience in. And so today's topic is just to hammer down on this word of the exchange of destiny. And destiny is just what the Lord created you to achieve, and the things that he created you to accomplish in your life here. And those things he put in you to be able to do that, to accomplish those things, to reach those milestones by a certain time frame, and to achieve certain major things in your life that you will be remembered by, or that will affect your future generations, your family, and those to come after you and those around you. That is your destiny. And so when we are born, there is your physical life, so your physical flesh and blood body. There's also your spiritual part of you, and that is your spirit, and that is the breath of God. Remember in Genesis, when God created Adam, he formed him from the dust, and then after that Adam was still lifeless, but all flesh was there, all the organs were there, all the body systems were there, but they were not functioning yet. And then God breathed into him through his nostrils. And as soon as that happened, Adam came alive. And so that breath of life is the Spirit of God. That is the image of God that is in us, because he made us in his own image, and the evidence of that image is his breath that is in us. So that's the spiritual part of us. So we all have that piece. We have the physical flesh, and we have that spiritual part of us, and then we have a soul, and the soul is our intellect, and it's also our will. That is where our will is. Our will and our emotions, those form our soul. So our thoughts, you can't see our thoughts, but they're there. So the thoughts, the will, which is there. Some people have a strong will, some people have a will that's not so strong. And then there's also the emotions. When you feel happy, you feel joyful, you feel at peace, you feel angry. Those are all part of what is happening in your soul. So every human being has three parts to them. So you have the physical, which is the flesh, and then you have the spirit, which is the breath of God, and then you have the soul, which is your will, and it's also your intellect and your thoughts. Okay, so I just wanted to lay that foundation because it's really important for us to understand that foundation first as we get into this topic. And so what happens with destiny? Destiny is something that is in your spirit. It's attached to the spiritual part of you, not the physical part of you. It's in the spiritual part of you. So you can't really see it, you can't really touch it, but you can feel it and you can know about it. So it works very closely with your soul, because your soul is where your will is, it's where your emotions are, and it's where your thoughts are. So how that connects to your destiny, which is in the spiritual part of you, is that you will just feel like doing certain things. You will feel like you just want to sing. Maybe your destiny is to become a great musician. So in your soul, you will just have those emotions of joy and happiness whenever you sing, whenever you engage in that activity. Your soul part will be very much happy, will be at peace even, because you're engaging in that which aligns with it. The spiritual part and the soul part are in alignment, and so you'll feel joy, you'll feel peace, you'll feel really good, and that's how you know that you are going in the right direction, because there's alignment, and that's how you know there's that alignment. Right, your physical part, you doing that activity, is in alignment with the soul part, because you're feeling happy, you're feeling joyful, and the spiritual part is also in agreement with that, because then things will start moving forward. For instance, you start singing, you become good at it, people start inviting you to different events, or people ask you to do a YouTube channel and put your singing videos on YouTube, and it's getting a lot of views, a lot of likes. So everything is opening up to support that. And then as you continue with that, then now you land a record deal, or you're getting a lot of invitations, you're getting income coming in. So you're in your purpose, and you are going forward to achieve your destiny of becoming a musician or an artist, a renowned artist, right? Everything is moving towards that direction. And that is great, right? So now what happens when things don't move in that direction? And every time you feel that you're supposed to be doing something, you feel that you're supposed to be, let's say, a great artist, and you're trying and trying, and you just can't get any deals, you can't get anything moving, and you feel like there's always something that is coming to put a stop to it. You feel like things are progressing, but it just comes to a dead end, and you feel in your soul, your will is to do this thing and nothing more. This is what brings you joy. This is what brings you happiness. You have all the gifts, you have all the talents, but it's when you engage in it, you feel happy, you feel joyful, but there's no results at the end of it. You can't put food on the table just doing that activity. There's nothing to show for it. You've done it for 5 years, but there's nothing to show for it. You just come up with empty results. So that's where we say, think about it. Maybe your destiny has been exchanged. because your destiny was to become a great artist, but because nothing is moving forward, there's no progress to move you to the position that you're supposed to be in by this time, or to achieve those milestones that you're supposed to achieve in that direction, your destiny might have been exchanged. And so that's just sort of foundational information for you about how to determine that perhaps something messed up or someone messed up with your destiny, and what you're experiencing are symptoms of an exchanged destiny. And so from that example that I've given, you can apply it to any area of your life. It could be in the area of business. If you feel in your soul that you're meant to be a business person, you're meant to be a businessman or a businesswoman, and you've always had this drive to open up your own business, and you have all it takes. Perhaps you've even gone to school to study business, so you have all the knowledge, but when you apply it, there's nothing to show for it. No one comes to ask for your services. No one is buying from you. And you can't figure out why. Someone down the road is selling the exact same thing that you're selling, and they're able to get clients, but no one stops by your store. No one looks at your products. No one is interested in it at all. And you can't figure out why the difference. Sometimes it's the exact same product. Why would they buy from person A and not person B? Sometimes it is the spiritual part that has been interfered with. It has been manipulated in a certain way to influence people to either come to person A or not even look at person B, as if that person is invisible and as if that business does not exist at all. If you ask them, did you pass by that store? Did you see that store there? They will tell you, no, I didn't see any store there. And your store is right there. So that tells you that there is a different variable going on. There's something else going on. It's not just the physical that we see. The spiritual is very much at play. And that is why we say that the spiritual life is actually the mother of the physical life. The spiritual influences, directs, and dictates the physical. And so it's really, really important to take notice of what is happening in the spiritual realm, to know about the spiritual realm, to know how the spiritual realm operates, to know how you can influence what is happening in the spiritual realm about your own life, because you've been empowered to do that by Christ Jesus. And you can protect what is happening in your life in the spiritual realm using the blood of Jesus, so that there is no interference into the spiritual realm concerning your life, and so that things in your life can progress and move on in accordance with what was created for you and how God created your life to go. Because if you're ignorant, or if you ignore this part, the spiritual part, then things will affect your physical life, and there's nothing much you can do about it until you address the spiritual side of things, because there's three parts to us, as we've seen. So you can't just focus on the physical part, going to school, taking courses and courses and courses and certifications and all these things, yet your problem is not physical. It's not that you don't have the knowledge. It's not that you don't have the skills. It's not that you don't have the qualifications. It is of a spiritual nature, right? So I just wanted to lay that foundation for us, so that we take this seriously, because I know that I, for one, didn't know about the spiritual realm and how it operated and how it actually dictates and directs what was happening in my physical life. That's one. And two, I grew up going to a regular Catholic church, and these things were never talked about at church. I never heard about this at all. So I was ignorant of this. I was totally ignorant, and so that contributed to me being stagnated in my life, being unable to do something to change the situation in my life for many years. It's not until the past 3 years, 3 to 5 years, when I started to become aware of this third part of me, which is the spiritual, but also that I could influence what was happening in my physical life by engaging in the spiritual realm in order to see changes in my life. And I can tell you that the past 3 to 5 years of my life have been like no other time in my life. And that is part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, is so that we can all get this information. We can all have an increase in awareness. We can all have this knowledge to change the quality of our lives. Because if you don't know, then you can't use that information, and your life continues to remain the same, and you continue in that same struggles, just going around that same mountain over and over and over again. And so the basis of what I'm talking about can be found in the Bible. I go back to this story. I go back to it again and again and again. The story of Jacob and Esau in the book of Genesis, chapter 25. And in chapter 25, verse 27, this is where we're introduced to Jacob and Esau, what they liked and what they didn't like. And we can see that these two boys, they were twins. Same mother, same father. Esau was the older twin and Jacob was the younger twin. Esau was a hunter. He liked to go out into the wilderness, into the forest to hunt. Jacob was more of a homebody, and he liked to cook. He liked vegetables. He liked to farm. So he was always around the house. He was closer to his mom. Esau was closer to Isaac, his dad. Now, they grew up just like every other family with the two siblings, nothing much going on. But one day, Esau was hunting. He came back from the hunting feeling very hungry. He just wanted to eat. And Jacob had just prepared some lentils. Esau was so hungry, he really wanted to eat some of the lentils. And he asked his brother if he could have some of the lentils. Jacob had something in his mind at that time. Jacob had an eye for the birthright. Jacob always wanted to be the firstborn, but he was born after Esau. Esau was born first, but Jacob always wanted to be the elder one. And so he was always eyeing that position, that role. Why? Because in that custom at that time, the elder son always inherited the family blessing. And the family blessing was passed down from generation to generation through the eldest son. And so Esau, because he was the eldest son, was poised naturally to inherit his father's family blessing. And so Jacob had an eye for that blessing. And how was he going to get that blessing? He had to find a way to bypass Esau. So when Esau was just asking for a bowl of lentil soup, just a regular bowl of soup, Jacob asked him first, I'll give you this bowl of soup if you exchange your birthright with me. So that means that if you exchange your firstborn position with me, I'll give you this soup right now. Esau did not think of the significance of that position of his, the firstborn position, firstborn son. He didn't think much of it. He just was like, what good is this if I'm going to die right now of hunger if I don't eat? That firstborn position is not helping me right now to get food in my stomach. What I need is this physical food. But Jacob was not thinking about the physical food. Jacob was thinking about the spiritual position. So Jacob